Into politics today with your number one unofficial spokesperson of the Obidient campaign. As you guys know, in less than 2 weeks, we'll be going to the polls, and I want you to know who you're voting for. You're voting for the Labour Party, you're voting for human beings, you're voting for Mama, Papa, and Pikin. Nne na nna na nwa. You're voting for human beings. We voted for Umbrella. It failed us. It leaked. It was carried by the wind of corruption, and it didn't do us well. We voted for Umbrella and it swept us into poverty. This is real. From 8,000 naira for a bag of rice, it is now 40 something thousand naira to a bag of rice. Meanwhile, your minimum wage remains the same, your salary remains the same. You can't even buy fuel, you can't even boast of anything. Security is just out of the window. Now we want to vote for human beings, we want to vote for Labour Party. Now, Nigerian politics, it's not, they don't have really they don't have a political culture, if you will. They don't have a philosophy, political philosophy. They just move from one party to the other. All the candidates, they switch parties all the time. So we are not really interested in those parties anymore. We are looking at individuals that have shown character, people who have upright hearts, who have skillful hands, people who made money with proven enterprise. Enough of people making money without enterprise. We need people that have character, that have integrity to pilot the affairs of the nation. That's what we need. And that's why we are voting for Obi and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed. These gentlemen will take us there. I saw a video about Shegun Kuti, and to be frank, if not for the Kuti, I wouldn't have even known him. But they say he was saying in the video that P2B hid his money in some island where there's tax heaven, so he doesn't pay taxes to Nigeria. And while that might look like truth, you have to understand the premise, the background. P2B lived in the UK. He did business in the UK, and he made lots of money. Right? He made lots of money. He has a house that he bought before he entered into politics that is worth over £1 billion. That's how rich he was in the UK before he came back to Nigeria. So he was a pretty rich guy. And so you can understand why he will put some money elsewhere, because the Nigerian economy is not stable. You cannot predict. Austin Jejo Okocha, during the time of OBJ, he came back to Nigeria and invested $1 million because OBJ was telling the people, come home and invest. He invested $1 million and the thing went missing in the bank. So you don't expect people to bring all their wealth and put it in Nigeria when they made it outside. But what Obi did that is different, and this guy didn't want to talk about it because that's what they do when they play strawman argument. What Obi did was that he also invested in Nigeria. If you know how he became chairman of the first bank he became a chairman, was because he was the highest shareholder in that bank. So you don't become a highest shareholder in a bank just by chance. No, you have to actually invest. That's how you become a shareholder. You buy shares in the bank. So he has so much shares that he has at least 51% of the shares in the bank. That's how big he was in investing in Nigeria. He also brought Nest Nigeria. He has so many businesses running in Nigeria. So you can't fault him for keeping about $15 million outside for his family, because the family were outside. The son is still outside. The daughter came back to Nigeria because they love Nigeria so much. So don't listen to these guys that will twist truth a little bit. So I'm going to paraphrase this a little bit again. P2B lived outside Nigeria, made money outside Nigeria. He was one of the few people that had the highest credit cards in the UK. He has a house worth £1 billion in the UK, and he bought this house before he ventured into politics in Nigeria. So he put some money aside for his family before he moved into Nigeria. And then when he came into Nigeria, he invested so much in a bank that at some point he was the highest shareholder of a bank. And by default, he became the chairman of the bank. So it is important that you know the truth. So this is the guy who is going to pilot the affairs of this nation in the next cycle, in the next swearing in from May 29th, 2023. So let us vote for Labour Party. LP, Mama, Papa, Pikin. That's why I'm showing it on this in this video. Vote for Labour Party. LP, Labour Party, Mama, Papa, and Pikin. Make sure your hand don't cross the lines. Vote within the lines. All right. Vote for Obi Dati. Right. Vote for these guys. Because look at Dati. He has 2 universities in Nigeria. And he has a hospital in Abuja there. And these guys, the investment is in Nigeria. Nobody's coming after him because he was clean. He's clean. Let's vote for people like this, not people who don't know how they made their money, not people that made no money outside of politics, or people whose money or wealth is questionable. Let's vote for people that will help us deliver this country. That's what we need in this cycle, in this next cycle. We cannot make this mistake that we've made in the past. We cannot keep making the same mistake again and again and again. Now, what I'm showing you on the screen right now is a sitting governor telling his people to violate the law, to break the law. And this is what is called in some places it is called treason. When the federal government has a directive or a law and someone rises up and tells their people not to obey the law, this is crazy. So he should be answering some questions. This is Governor El Rufai of Kaduna State. He should be answering some questions. And they keep saying this, that some people in the presidency doesn't want their party to win. And you'll be wondering, you will think they were in opposition, but they are the ruling party. They failed Nigeria so miserably, so woefully, that you can't even tell from their rhetoric that they were the ruling party. You can't tell that. They always play the victim. They say the Naira redesign was against them. Everything was against them. People in the presidency were against them. You'll be wondering, aren't you guys the people in power? That's because they failed so woefully and they understood from the body language of President Muhammad Buhari that he wants to deliver free and fair election. And so they are afraid. They are panicking. They don't know what to do because normally it's by rigging. They get elected, they get into office, not elected, they get into office by rigging. But this time around, it's not going to be business as usual, right? We have the vote rigging vaccine, in quote, vote rigging vaccine that was invented by this same government, and their own people are panicking. They are trying to stop the use of the beavers. They are trying to do everything to destabilize this election, but it's not going to work. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us go out there and vote and make sure that we vote for Labour Party. We cannot vote for people who are lawbreakers, who are against their own party and promoting violence against their own government, or insurrection, or disobedience against their own government. Now, what you're seeing here is Adams Oshomole and the APC campaign in Edo State, his own state. He went there and the people said no. They chased him away. Let's listen to what they're saying.
Fly the empty bridge. You can see they are going back. I'm proud of the community. For the first time, they did something meaningful. Yes, this is this. You can see all the old women dancing. We have been voting for them for more than 18 to 24 years. No light, no road, no water, no good school. And this party, we said it is our party. We have been working for this party. What is our benefit? What is our concern about it?
The people have heard it. Enough is enough. The people have heard it. We can't continue, this thing we are doing business as usual. This cannot continue anymore. And the people have heard it and they say enough is enough. They drove them away from his own state. While I do not promote violence of any kind, you understand the frustration of the people. There's no fuel, there's no security, there's no money in circulation, there's nothing good from this government. and the people are tired. Now, this is an illustrator who is painting the three front runners. I don't know if I should call them front runners anymore, because from what we are seeing in the rallies and the endorsements, we know there's just a clear front runner, which is Peter Obi in this case. And if you want to talk about, however you want to, dice and cut this, you know that Peter Obi is the person that we need to elect this time around. When you talk about competence, when you talk about character we can trust, when you talk about capacity, Peter Obi is the man. And that is why we have to elect him. At this juncture, according to Pat Debanjo, if we don't elect Peter Obi this time around, we don't know what will become of Nigeria. This present administration is just borrowing and borrowing. They have borrowed and structured internal debt that will be paid over the next 40 years. Many of the people running now will not even be there to worry about how the debts are going to be paid. That is how bad it is. These guys don't care about us. They're just accumulating debt for the future. For the next 40 years, you'll be paying debts that you don't know what is used for. $53 billion or $52 billion they borrowed, or they're borrowing more. 23 trillion naira they borrowed, and they're still borrowing more. And you're wondering, what are they doing with it? Now, if you borrow to invest, you'll be getting some dividend from your investment. What are they doing with the money they are borrowing? So, guys, let us vote for Labour Party in this coming election. We cannot miss this, right? Let your vote be your prayer. Let your vote be the answer to your prayer. You can't vote one way and pray another way. You can't pray to end insurgents and insecurity and you vote differently. You can't pray to end food scarcity every year. Every year, it's just like people have emotional attachment or sentimental attachment to suffering. You can't vote to end suffering, and you can't pray to end suffering and just vote the same way you've been voting before. That cannot continue. You can't pray that you have a steady power supply when you vote people that will do nothing. People that import generators. What do you think? The guy that imports generator, do you think is going to fix power problem? What is he going to do with the generators imported? Think about it. People that promote toggery and political toggery. You think they're gonna stop it? See, people were going to the TBS for rallies the other day, and they were attacked by some hoodlums, by some touts. You think those guys that promote it, that benefit from it, will do anything to stop it? Think again. They won't. They won't do anything to stop it. We need to be moved from consumption to production. We need to use our lands in the north, our ports in the south. We need to put it into practice. The southeast is a technology hub. The southwest is finance center. The south is a big port. We can use those. The north is, we have so many arable lands in the north. We can utilize all these to the advantage of the nation to move us from consumption to production. Right? These are things, but all the science and technology that exists in the southeast. We can create another Silicon Valley in the southeast and also in the southwest. So we can't just continue praying for something to be better, for things to be better, and we keep voting the same guys that put us in the place that we are today. So, ladies and gentlemen, we must vote for Labour Party in this election cycle, right? Let's vote for Labour Party in this election cycle. We must vote for Mama, Papa, and Pikin. There's no two ways about it. Let your vote be the answer to your prayer. Let your vote be the answer to your prayer, right? Remember I said don't sell your vote. If they give you money, take it. It's your money. Even if they made you swear an oath, it won't do anything. The oath won't do anything to you. Take the money. I heard one video, an audio recording where one guy was telling them in Lagos to take a picture of their vote where they voted. Don't do that. Don't vote for them. Don't vote for them. And don't take your camera there. And I wish that INEC would see this video and stop people from taking camera to that place. Let INEC have their own cameras if they want have cameras there. But let them not intimidate people to voting for them. And if they force you vote across the line, make the vote void. Don't vote for these guys. If someone is threatening you to vote for them, don't you know that they don't have any good plan for you? Because if they have a plan, they'll be marketing their plans to you. They won't be forcing you and telling you who to vote for by force. If you want to live here peacefully, they keep claiming that everybody comes to Lagos. If you want to go, before they go abroad, they come to Lagos first. If they will open other borders, if they will open other ports, why are people coming to Lagos? Because the Lagos was the capital of Nigeria for over 70 years. It is far ahead in development than any other place, just like Abuja is overtaking every other place because it was the federal capital. Lagos was the federal capital from the time of the colonial masters. The development that were put in Lagos is not put anywhere else in Nigeria. All the multinationals, they have their headquarters there. All the foreign nations, they have their embassies there. So there are more opportunities. When there's travel, there's commerce, there's more opportunities there. So it is natural, it is not your making, it is the design of the colonial masters. When the Portuguese first landed there, and then the British, and so on and so forth. If you invest 70 years of the federal presence in any state, they'll be better. Invest 70 years in any state. Now, let's say Abuja is capital for 70 years. You move that to south, you move that to southeast, move that to north central, move that to northeast, move that to northwest. As you move it around for 70 years on each section, they will all be ahead. So when people make boasts of things they had no contribution whatsoever to, it was just by chance. You were just born and you found yourself there. And all of a sudden you claim that you're superior. No. So guys, let's not be intimidated by these guys. When they tell you, oh, it's because Lagos is, ask them, what role did you play to be born a Lagosian, if they were Lagosians? Because many of them aren't. Like Tinubu, for instance, he was born in Osun, hopefully, probably, I don't know. But he came from Osun. He wasn't from Lagos. So all these claims they're making, they did Lagos this. Lagos was the capital from the 18 something. All right. So let's not be intimidated by these guys. Let's not live in the past. Now, we have nothing against Tinubu. He's a great guy, in terms of what he did in politics. I don't know about his business or school or any other thing. But in terms of what he did in politics, they said he did well. But what I'm saying now is age has caught up with him, which everybody prays to get old. I know many people like to stay young forever, but age happens. And I saw a video where he got somewhere and he forgot why he came there, was asking them why he came there, well, how they came there and all that. If this is your reality, I think the people that love you should say, hey dad, we love you so much, but slow down a little bit. Be a statesman, be like Pade Banjo, be a statesman. Advise the younger ones. Those that have more yesterdays than tomorrows should know how to deal with these things. They should walk in wisdom. Don't kill yourself. You're not supposed to die there. You shouldn't just go there because you think it's your turn, because you have a deal with Buhari and now it's your turn. No. You must have a plan. They asked you, if you're not running, who would have been your candidate? And you said nobody. What do you mean by nobody? Nigeria will far outlive all of us. How can one person be that, I don't want to use any fancy word, but how can one person think like that? That it is only him or nobody else? We cannot live in that alternate reality. We have to live in the real reality. Doesn't matter who. Nigeria will still outlive 8 years. All of us will die and Nigeria will still be there. So why do we arrogate these things to ourselves? Guys, please, let's get our PVCs and let us vote right. Vote for Labour Party. Let's steady this ship right now before it crash lands, before it sinks. Let's steady this ship. Let's get our nation back. Let's take our nation back so that all these brain drains we're having will turn to become brain gain. I was watching Pastor Nathaniel Bassi the other day. He said that they were going to church and they were turned back by hoodlums on the street because they were protesting. He said also they were taking generator to a place of prayer and they were asked to pay 32,000 naira or something like that for nothing. Just for taking your own generator that someone donated to you. moving it from one place to the other. This hoodlums stop you and take money from you. This has to stop. And someone said the reason the big politicians, are not supporting P2B is because he was going to stop the place they are stealing from. And naturally, they want to defend it. They want to defend where they steal from because they steal from corruption. But that is coming to an end. It started with the End SARS 2020 protest, and it continues. It will far outlive all of us. They should continue until we get our nation back, until we will stop becoming mockery of the nations. We shouldn't be, a mockery of the nations. Nigeria is a country of Chinua Achebe. This is the country of Wole Soyinka, the country of great men and women, the country of Philip Emeagwali, the country of Zik, the country of Awolowo, the country of Sir Ahmad Bello, country of great men. We can't let these guys take over. The lunatics, we can't let them take over the asylum. No, we have to take back our country and steady the ship because we have so many great men and women in that country. See Nigerians running the show all over the world, in music, in movies, in industry, in entertainment, even in politics. The UK and the US, they have all black people leading some of their economic teams, and they're meeting, talking. Nigerians, two Nigerians, one representing the UK, one representing the US, and talking and deciding the future of the nation. People that will chase away from Nigeria. If these guys were in Nigeria, came here, and the other guy, is it Wale or so? Wale, yeah, Kemi and Wale. If these guys were in Nigeria, nobody will even give them consulship because they won't know anybody. But these guys are running the biggest economy in the world. Guys, let's get it right. Enough is enough. When we get the right guys in power, things will normalize. Where we live, in some parts of the world, you don't even know the name of your local government chairman or your governor because things are working well. You don't know the name of your utility provider because things are working well. But in Nigeria, everybody knows NEPA. Even when they change their name, people don't want to change it because every time there's power outage, this and that. In some parts of the world, there's no power outage for decades. We can fix this. Right. Let's get it right. Let's vote for Labour Party. Papa, Mama, Pikin. Ebee ka anyị ga-ebinye aka ebe sere mmadụ? Ebee ka anyị ga-ebinye aka ebe sere mmadụ? Ebe sere mmadụ, 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 ebe sere nwatakịrị mama ya na papa. Vote for Labour Party 2023. Vote for Labour Party down the ballot. From the top to the bottom, vote for Labour Party. From the bottom to the top, vote for Labour Party in this election cycle. God bless you all. Please let your PVC, let your vote be the answer to your prayer. Let your PVC be the answer to your prayer. As you vote, stay there and make sure your vote is counted. Do not sell your vote because your vote is your voice. Your voice is your conscience. If you sell your vote, you've sold your voice. If you sell your voice, you've sold your conscience. You can't let that happen. If you do that, you have lost the right to complain for the next 4 to 8 years. All right. Please share this video, like, subscribe, comment.